Very few golf clubs go on to gain legend status. The TaylorMade P790 is getting there. So where does that leave these? The TaylorMade P790TI irons. Let's do it, and let's do it now. Hi everyone, James Robinson here. If you're new to the channel and this is your very first time watching my content, first of all, welcome to the channel. I'm so glad that you found me. Second of all, please don't leave before you do consider hitting that subscribe button below. And make sure you also ring that notification bell. That way you won't miss any of the great golf related content that I bring to you guys every single day. Hopefully to help you raise your game, generally to help you lower that handicap, but mainly just to get you enjoying golf more than you have done ever before. Now in today's video, I have been mega excited about trying these. These are the ultra premium, ultra expensive TaylorMade P790TI irons, and they are a brand new release from TaylorMade to help that P790 fan who just can't get enough of the P790 because the P790s aren't P790 enough. These bad boys are basically P790s on steroids, and today we are going to put them to the test. First impressions, I mean, yeah, that could work. However, first impressions visually, these things are a lot bigger than the standard P790. They're a longer blade length, they are a thicker top line, and they look like they are designed to be a lot more forgiving, which I can hear a lot of you kind of cheering in the background because forgiveness, who doesn't want more forgiveness, right? Today to test, I do have the 8 iron, I have the 6 iron, I have the 4 iron, and we're going to put them through the paces on here. That felt very nice. Big high fade. We're going to put them through the paces here on the launch monitor. I'm also going to test them in a different video against some other pretty premium golf clubs because let's not beat around the bush, guys. These things are very, very, very expensive. But sometimes in life you just get what you pay for, don't you? Look at that. So I'm not going to lie guys, at first glance when I got these TaylorMade P790TI irons out the box, I was very surprised with the size of these clubs. But then you do have to think, these are a premium iron, they are designed for forgiveness, they are designed to help people play better golf. So they're not going to make it absolutely tiny, are they? Because that's not going to offer people what they want. And TaylorMade are giving people what they want. That's incredible for an 8 iron. That felt very, very toey. And distance has dropped off there. Distance has dropped off about 10 yards. It has got to be said as well, I've done well to hit that toey because the faces are so big, the sweet spots are so big that generally you do get away with a lot more with these. I've noticed that already. I've had a bit of a warm-up before we started this video and I did notice that, well, the sweet spots are just absolutely massive. Okay, let's move on to the 6 iron now, and that trend of the kind of big head does carry on here. You can even start to see a little bit, I mean you wouldn't kind of look this way, but you can start to see a little bit of that tungsten weighting kind of from a dress. Only a little bit. I guess it depends how much kind of forward shaft lean you have, because obviously if it was there then you're always going to see it, aren't you? That felt like an absolute rocket, to be fair. That's a 200 yard 6 iron. So technology going into these clubs, we do have the speed foam, we still have the through speed slot, we still have lots of technology that does make the P790 the P790, so they haven't just kind of branded it that for the sake of branding it because the P790 has always done so well. The P790Ti is constructed out of a 911 titanium, shock horror. That is what the TI stands for. It doesn't stand for the wrapper, it doesn't stand for Thai. It's not Thai food. Thai food would be spelled differently. It's got a H and an A in it, hasn't it? But yeah, it stands for titanium, and that is designed to make the irons not only perform very, very well, but feel very, very well. And I must say, they do feel very, very well. For left! That's a long way, but it's a long way left as well. How forgiving are these things again? Now, lofts on these TaylorMade P790TI irons, as you can imagine, I'm going to put them on screen now. And the 8 iron that we're gaming is 32.5 degrees of loft. The 6 iron 25 degrees of loft, and the 4-iron is just a bare 19 degrees of loft. So they are fairly strong lofted. It's going to be interesting to see how people react to that, because when Callaway came out with the Epic Forged irons earlier this year, which are a very, very similar product, people kind of lost their minds a little bit over the lofts. Now, obviously the tungsten weighting in the bottom of here is designed to help get the ball launching, to help it get a better spin rate, and to help you get better numbers, and that will coincide with the loft that is on the club head. So it's not just distance by default because of the loft changes, there is technology rammed into that head which does help the club perform as you would want, or better than you would want maybe. That's the money shot. 197, buttery fade, 6-iron. Still only spinning at 4.5, but if you do watch a lot of my videos, you will know that I am a very, very, very low spin player anyway, and that's why I can hit things like this a lot further than I would my standard blade irons that I use. So why wouldn't you use them? You see, it's all about control and consistency, isn't it? If I can hit a consistent distance and control that spin, control the stopping power, I know I'm going to play better golf. So it all comes down to how much further do you need to hit your irons, how much further do you want to hit your irons, and are you just bothered about what number is on the bottom of that club as opposed to what you hit 150 yards. Now, one thing I do not want to shadow over in this video is how good these feel. Because the one criticism I've always had of the P790 is that it felt just a little bit dead off the face. It didn't feel quite as I would want a golf shot to feel. Enter TI. Not the wrapper, but... Oh, that's got to be high, right? Is it? No? I'll tell you, we've got away with that, because that, I felt the club face do that, it was so toey, and we've really, really, I'm looking up there because I can see up there, really got away with that. Okay, let's now go 4-iron. This is the longest iron available in the P790 Ti set, and it does go all the way down to an A wedge, which is a gap wedge. This is 19 degrees of loft, and the 6-iron was going to about 200 yards. Things could be about to get interesting. Now, this 4-iron looks big, but for a 4-iron, is that not what you want? Let's see. Big high draw with the 4-iron. That's a hook. That is a hook. Gone a long way, but this does lead me on to another point. You do see quite a lot more offset in these TI irons as opposed to the standard TaylorMade P790 irons. And you sort of struggle to kind of control it and manipulate it. I very much enjoy, when I'm playing golf, moving the ball right to left, moving it left to right. Not always on purpose, but I do kind of enjoy that little artistry. I do kind of enjoy that little artistry when I'm playing golf. Now, if you do enjoy that and you're going to start gaming something like this, you can pretty much kiss goodbye to that, because these are designed for forgiveness, they're designed to get the ball launching, to keep it as straight as possible. So as you can imagine, its shot shaping isn't very high on the list for the TaylorMade P790 Ti customer or player. Oh, good lord. Oh, has that broke the net? Oh, we're okay. That could be the loudest, I don't know why I haven't fastened my glove, could be the loudest, longest 4-iron, 223 yards. All I tried to do there was hit it straight, just button it, don't worry about any movement. So we've not spoken that much on the aesthetics of these clubs. Now, for me, being a golf pro, they are probably a little bit on the big side, a little bit on the cumbersome side, the forgiving side. But like I said earlier in the video, these aren't designed for me. They're not really designed for a pro, for low handicaps. Potentially they could be for mid handicaps. But again, I don't always like kind of justifying clubs on handicaps, because you could be a handicap for any particular reason. The actual aesthetics of them, the visuals, the looks, the styling, I'm not gonna lie, I honestly think they potentially could have done a little bit better with it. For me, it reminds me of, you know, those really expensive watches where you look at them and you turn them around and you can see the mechanism inside. That's to show that they're expensive, it's to show what's in there. And I sort of feel the same thing with this. I mean, the P790 is so good looking, it was always going to be difficult to make a P790 Mark II kind of thing that looked different, played different and felt different. They've ticked a lot of those boxes because it definitely looks different, it definitely feels different, better, and it definitely performs different, better. Looks, it was just a good looking club anyway, wasn't it? I mean, there's just a lot going on. Anyway, back to performance. Let's see if I can do another one of those ridiculous 4 irons. Toey, but almost just as good. The forgiveness element behind these, obviously down to the head size and the technology, I've got to say is pretty impressive, and that does allow me to kind of go after them a little bit. So I am swinging at near enough kind of 90–95% here, so I would expect the distances to be very, very good, and we'll see what happens with the drop off on misses as well. Okay, let's hit one more shot with this TAYLORMADE P790 TI 4 iron. TI? I'm going to go TI. Let's hit one more, then let's look at the numbers and see just how they do perform, and if they could warrant going in your bag for that hefty price tag. We'll touch on that in a second. Forget the price. Let's put them in. That was awesome. So there you go guys, I've hit a handful of shots with the 8 iron, the 6 iron and the 4 iron of TaylorMade's potential most expensive iron ever, the P790 Ti. So what do we think? Now, before I even look at the numbers, I'm impressed with how these feel, because it's not very often you do get such a big, forgiving club that feels this soft, this nice, sounds that good. So hats off to TaylorMade for that. I'm not wearing a hat, but very, very good, very impressed with that. How do they perform? Let's find out. So let's start with dispersions, and obviously these are just primarily down to me, not the club, but there's the 8 iron. The 4 iron, just trying to struggle to launch the 4 iron. You can see their trajectory is varying quite a lot, couple are good, couple are bad. And the 6 iron, to be fair, apart from that real big kind of pull snap up left, I'm quite happy with the others because I could work that into a game of golf no problem. So let's start with the 8 iron. As you can see, a handful of shots, 173, 166, 171, 176, 167. So 3 good ones, 2 bad ones. That does give us an average distance of 170 yards, which for an 8 iron, I mean, yeah, it's big, it's very big. The bad shots actually were quite bad swings, so I am quite happy that you've only kind of lost 7, 8, 9 yards realistically there, so that's not bad at all. Ball speeds, all kind of 117, 114, 116, all around that number I would expect. Average ball speed, 116, which is very, very good on average. Spin, average 5.1, which is very low. And for me, same with the P790s and a lot of other irons this year, I've struggled to create spin on short irons. However, I would expect that to get slightly better as we move up into the 6 and 4 iron. So 6 iron, look at those for numbers. Wow. Now the second shot there would scare me a bit because it's just gone, it's grown legs, hasn't it, and gone way further than any of the other ones. So we have an average distance of 200 yards with a 6 iron. Wow. Average ball speed of 128.8. Spin rate's fairly low for 6, but at 4.5 that is kind of getting into the realms of respectability, whereas the 8 iron was a bit ridiculous. So average spin 4.325. Again, ideally for this club it's going to be more 5.5 instead of 4.5, but that is what it is. And what about the absolute rocket ship, the 4 iron? Yeah, that's a 223 yard 4 iron, guys. But then when the 6 iron goes 200 yards on average, I suppose that is kind of what you would expect, isn't it? So on average 215. The worrying thing there is if the 6 iron goes 200 on average, the 4 iron goes 215. I mean, what's your 5 iron going to go? 207, and hopefully you've got a gap in there. So that's a little bit worrying. Again, if I was going to buy these irons, I would do more testing on that. Ball speeds, all in the kind of 130s apart from the last one, interestingly, which must have been a terrible strike. 132.7 on average, so there's not a huge difference, is there, between the 4 and the 6 iron? Obviously there is, but to say there's a gap in the middle as well would be fairly worrying. 350 average spin, and if we look at all the spin numbers there, they're all in the 3000s apart from the last one, which dropped to 2.5. So as a full roundup, after looking at the numbers, what do we think to the TaylorMade P790 Ti irons? Now, I mentioned earlier about the price. £2,700 for a set? Now that's not cheap, is it? And I get it, the premium clubs, the premium irons, it goes back to kind of premium watches, premium cars, premium everything. PXG, the Callaway Epic Forged, the Callaway Epic Forged irons. So they're going to set you back a lot of money if you do want them. Now, there's no doubt they perform, they work, they're very forgiving, they go a long way. and it depends, I suppose, on what your budget is. It depends how much better these are going to perform for you than the P790 standard irons, because let's not forget they are very, very good irons. I think there is definitely a market for people who are going to want to buy these irons. There's definitely people who will see benefits from these irons as opposed to the P790 irons, but then I suppose how much benefit are you seeing for your buck as opposed to the standard P790 irons? So that is entirely up to the player. It is up to you at home if you do want to go and get these irons, if you do want to go and get fitted for them. I would recommend you go and try them. Obviously I recommend that you would get fit because I recommend that in every video. Personally, I'm not going to buy them, but I like them. I like how they, not necessarily the look, but I do like the idea behind them. I like how they feel, love how they feel, like how they perform. And I think, yeah, TAYLORMADE P790TI irons, yeah, gets a thumbs up from me. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed that. If you have, make sure you do hit that subscribe button below. Leave a like if you did enjoy the content, and make sure you do ring that notification bell, because I provide golf content every day and I don't want you guys to miss a minute of it. Apart from that, guys, hit the comments below. What do you think? Do we like them? Do we like them? As always, I'll see you tomorrow.